this. It's Friday, 7 p.m. On the operations desk of a financial office, a group of 10 people is closing the day, reviewing spreadsheets, cross-checking transactions by hand across 3 systems that don't talk to each other, hunting for a $100 mismatch that nobody can explain. This isn't some small company. This happens every single day to thousands of firms moving millions of dollars, brokers, funds, investment houses. The global financial industry, the one that moves trillions of dollars a day, runs, to a large extent, on Excel. Brokerware is what Shopify did for e-commerce, but for capital market firms. One platform that replaces 8, 10, 15 disconnected systems, from client onboarding to order management, to accounting, to compliance and regulatory reporting. Front to back, everything connected, everything automated. But here's what makes Brokerware different. Sitting between the front end and the back end, we built a central cognitive layer, a thinking brain that sees every transaction, every event, every movement across the firm in real time. It doesn't just store the data, it analyzes, it interacts, it acts. A cash reconciliation that used to take 4 hours, now it resolves itself in seconds. A compliance risk that used to surface the next day when it was already too late, flagged the moment it happens. This is not a promise. This is already happening. Today, Brokerware is trusted by institutions connected to groups like Itaú and firms like Insignia, organizations with the highest security and compliance standards in the region. In Paraguay, Itaú scaled their operational volume by 200% in a single year working with us. In just 3 years, we captured the 50% of the Paraguayan market, and today, we're the leading player in Uruguay. We're now expanding into Brazil, Mexico, and the United States, the 3 largest capital markets in the Americas. And Europe is next. In Europe alone, there are over 6,000 regulated investment firms managing over 30 trillion euros in assets, including hundreds right here in Spain. Yet, almost all of them still run on legacy software, systems built 20 years ago. No AI, no real integration, built for a world that no longer exists. Meanwhile, regulation is tightening, operations are becoming more complex, and the talent to build this in-house simply isn't there. Financial firms don't need a new tool. They need a new operating layer, intelligent, automated, secure. And Brokerware is building that layer. The AI-powered operational system for capital markets. We're not just building software. We are rewriting how this industry works. So that's Brokerware. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on the evolution and the idea. I wanted to know a bit more about the team. But could you tell me about the founding team and other relevant executives that are on board?
Well, Brokerware was founded in 2010, and our team is now not only multinational, but also multidisciplinary. We are a team of engineers. Well, I'm an economist, accountants. We have people in Paraguay. We have people in Uruguay. So, like, the synergy is really good because we have a lot of everything, so it's really good.
Great question. We see the judges, they always find the bit that maybe will help them make a decision. And we have our microphone is going to be running to, which next? We have one more. Yes, indeed. Question just down there in the front row. Thank you so much. Yes, we have stereo mic runners here. Thank you. You go ahead.
Hi, thank you. So my question has to do with the onboarding process. What kind of concerns or questions come up from clients when they're first engaging with your software? And what are the different processes in place to make that a smooth transition?
Yes. We have 2 types of onboarding, one for the client itself and one for like the back office team making the onboarding process. But what makes it different is that we applied AI to all of this process. So, for example, when you need to fill a really long form with many things to fill in, you can just like take a picture of your document and the form is pre-filled. We always the last verification is from a human, so everything goes okay. But yeah, we try to make this simple and as quick as possible. No more than 3 minutes for the onboarding because no one wants to lose time with these processes.
It's an API plugin into legacy tech. Okay.
Yes.
Getting into the technical details there, that's what we like to see. That is all the time we have for questions. Can we have a big round of applause? One more time for Lucia. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Brokerware AI. Muchísimas gracias. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to give our judges a few moments here. Now, if you're on the stage, you will see that they all have special iPads. They are connected to the South Summit mothership where all the votes go for the startups, and then they're all going to be added up, and we're going to announce them tomorrow, I believe. So you don't have to wait long. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So with that in mind, I'm seeing a nice piece across the front row now. The marks have been set, and we're ready for our next startup. Now, they are a native of Spain. The company is called Dalatea, and they are helping to automate internal risk processes for banks to optimize regulatory provisions with vertical AI agents. My friends, we are delighted to have the CEO and co-founder of Dalatea right here on the stage. Let's give it up for Alberto Lazarov. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I have one take-home message for you today. At Dalatea, we help banks make more money. You may be wondering how we do that. We automate internal risk processes. Not very sexy, but very needed. Why? Because while working in the industry, we realized a huge opportunity. Banks, like good investors, they want to keep their money flowing, moving, but they have to hold some reserves. This is money that is sitting still. So basically, what we do is that this money is tracked on Excel sheets, and we help them automate the internal process of tracking and logging and updating these capital reserves. So basically, as you all already know, this is a sad reality. It all runs on Excel. And what do these Excel files have? They have information from thousands of contracts, information that it explains what there are in these contracts, right? So let's run through a quick example. A small bank here from Spain has 55,000 contracts. Going through each one of them would take them 5 working years to do so. So they don't have time if the regulation changes 1 or 2 times per week. So the solution is that they overhold reserves due to mainly changing rules, difficulties tracking rotating portfolios, and outdated legacy systems. This creates a 30 to 50 billion opportunity just across the European Union. Basically, this is a huge industry, 115 billion throughout the world. So what have we done? We have done what we did before. We were working in the industry and we were doing this manually. So we have built a software that with heuristic rules and with AI agents, we scan the portfolio, we read through the contracts, we classify them, and then for the mistakes that we find, we generate a report for the bank to implement those changes in the database. Think of it as a proofreading software, but we want to think bigger. We want to be the Harvey, the Legora of the banking vertical. We want to think big. We're not only a productivity tool. We sell peace of mind. We avoid sanctions and reputation hits. The business model, simple. Large tickets because we have few customers and huge potential wins. It's a subscription model. Then we're engaging banks directly, and we're part of different innovation programs. This slide is already outdated. We have 30K in revenues, 30K pipeline. We have a very solid banking background coming from the Bank of Spain, the World Bank, Oliver Wyman, Santander, and we're looking for 3 things today. 1, partners to accelerate distribution because it's very hard for us to get to the right stakeholders. 2, business angels, even though we have already closed our fundraising, and then talent. These are the investors that already trust in us. Thank you very much, and happy to answer all of your questions.
Listen, felicidades. You can't see this from down there, but literally he landed that on the last second. That was perfection. Okay, but what did our judges think? Do we have any questions from the front row? We do, straight away. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're working with highly sensitive information from banks. What are the main security concerns that you're receiving from them and how you're working with them?
Well, banks are very concerned about the data. We already know that. That's why in our team, we have worked with this kind of data before. Pablo, CTO, has worked at Tetaray, implementing on-premises solutions. We have replicated that architecture, and we're ready to deploy on-premises. So the sensitive data never leaves the banking environment. We have done it before with transactions, and we're ready to do it now. with this type
Right.
of.
A great question. In a digital world, security is paramount. Yes, Oriol, we have a question right there. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. If you had to think about the next adjacent business that you can get, what would be that one? Because maybe the regulatory capital kind of sort of productivity, it's not sort of the most pressing issue for a number of banks, because maybe some of them are sort of have internal models and so forth. So be creative. What's the next adjacent business that you can get for banks?
We're in our roadmap, once we cover everything, we would like to be the next core banking system for banks, one that has AI integrated.
No. Next adjacent business, not the core banking for banks. This is 4 years down the road. The next one, your next win.
Stress testing of portfolios. We are building this feature. We have AI agents. You tell them what happens if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and we build a scenario specifically for your portfolio with your concentration, and we tell you the impact on capital and so on. And we also are exploring with insurers because they also have capital constraints.
Muy bien, my goodness. You see there, folks, the questions are not always easy. They're very seldom easy. They're really getting into the weeds there and getting into the details. And, you know, our wonderful startup pitchers really have to think on their feet. Speaking of which, you did absolutely fantastic. One more time, a big round of applause for Alberto from Dalatea. Thank you.
Very much.
Muchísimas gracias. All right, again, we are giving the judges a little bit of time to put their marks in. Let me just remind you, South Summit is about what happens in the room. It's what happens at the networking, the parties. It's also about what happens in the digital world. And we would like to please create some love and create some FOMO. So let's make everyone else jealous. If you know somebody who's not at South Summit, you're at South Summit. Feel free to take that selfie, post it on the socials, and make everyone feel some serious FOMO. Just use a hashtag SouthSummit26 and tag South Summit, and maybe you'll get amplified and we'll create even more FOMO. Okay, we're going to move immediately on with our next amazing pitcher. Now, the next company is called EthicHub. They are from Spain, and they integrate finance and trade, leveraging on disintermediation to provide better profits to all stakeholders within a shorter supply chain. And I believe they are rethinking the specialty coffee supply chain with integrated quality and impact. My friends, we are absolutely delighted, because I love coffee, not that you could notice. We absolutely love coffee here, and we are delighted to welcome the CSO of EthicHub. Can we please give a huge round of applause? Gabriella Chang.
Coffee beans can travel thousands of kilometers to reach your morning cups, but the farmers who grew them are often invisible and have no access to our traditional financial system. And that's not just a gap in finance, it's a gap in opportunity. EthicHub started with a simple but powerful idea. What if financial technology could connect global capital with smallholder farmers to become a sustainable driver for development? 600 million microfarmers are living in poverty despite producing 1/3 of the world's food, because traditional systems were never designed for them. Solving this problem is a tremendous business opportunity, not just because they are our 450 billion untapped credit market, but also because they are the last wave of digital adoption. And this is going to happen very soon, once Starlink achieves direct connectivity with their mobile phones. Now let's close up on coffee, one of the most traded commodities, but also one of the most asymmetric supply chains. Did you know that 80% of all the coffee in the world is produced by 25 million poor microfarmers? Traditional coffee markets are dominated by a handful of players in a game of high volume, small margins, ignoring the cost of social and environmental externalities. After many years working with these farmers, we just launched a marketplace to offer 5-kilo green coffee bags to serve the growing micro-roasters industry. We're talking about a market of 36 billion, expected to grow to 100 billion by 2030. 2030. By strategically disintermediating the specialty coffee supply chain, all the stakeholders benefit from interacting. Produce Pay and Ninja Card are successful use cases of finance and market integration, but they work with a few big players, big producers, while our model is focused on smallholders. We have financed more than $6 million to 16 cooperatives in 6 countries in Latin America, selling more than 400 tons of coffee to more than 100 roasters. We are now looking for a lead investor for setting the term sheet of our next round. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. That was wonderful. And you know, with at least 12 seconds on the clock, so that's really, really impressive. I love coffee. I'd like it even more if I knew the farmers were treated well, and that sounds like a great solution. Do we have any questions from our VIP panel of judges in the front row? Okay, sometimes there are no questions. We got a question straight away. Great, thank you so much. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, very interesting. Wanted to know a bit more about your credit operations. What's the size, typical size? If it's concentrated in one particular country, and the kind of morosity levels you've experienced up until now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are in Mexico, Brazil, Honduras, and Colombia, mainly. The other countries were pilots. Morosity used to be part of the problem when it was only lending, but our model actually is focused more on trading. So it's like a prepayment of the coffee. So the cooperatives pay with the coffee, because they get the incentive to getting access to better markets. So they earn between 15 and 20% more for selling the coffee to EFIHub.
And do you have a plan how to onboard the big coffee brands to buy also over your platform?
No, it's not the idea. The big coffee brands, it's how the market is. We are moving to how the market should be, considering the cost of externalities. Because big markets, because they work with volumes, I mean, they work with one container with one bag, for example, they cannot provide traceability. And regulation and society is moving toward traceability, responsibility about the biodiversity. We have now the European law for non-deforestation. So that's very complex to keep in big volumes. So we have to evolve to the traceability model.
Fantastic, and that is our full allowance of 2 questions gone, but those are 2 excellent questions. Thank you to our judges. My dear friends, can we have a huge round of applause for Gabriela? Thank you so much. That was epic hug. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Okay, as I mentioned at the beginning of the day, my personal motto is ABC, or always be connecting. Sometimes that stands for ABC, always be caffeinated. I do think coffee is the fuel of events. So yes, that was a great idea on how to have more ethical coffee. Shoot that into my veins. We have given the judges a couple of seconds to put in their very important marks, and now we're going to move on to our next pitcher. So remember, hashtag SalesSummit26 for all the social love /FOMO. We are now going to move on to our next pitcher. They are all the way from beautiful Portugal, and the company name is Granter. They help companies find and apply for grants using AI. Brilliant. We are absolutely delighted to be joined by their CEO. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Bernardo Seixas. Thank you.
The European Union has awarded 285 billion euros in grants last year. And yet, most companies missed out. Not because they were rejected, but because they got buried in bureaucracy. Or worse, they never even heard about them. This means that companies that really want to access public funding need to be constantly searching in outdated government websites, read through dozens of rules and regulations, and then spend up to 50 hours writing an application. Now imagine doing all of this without any certainty of success several times a year. Applying for grants is a full-time job. And the only other option companies have is to hire expensive consultants. The bottom line is this. While grants are supposed to be the best source of funding for companies, for most, they end up becoming a complete waste of time and money. Well, not anymore. We are Granter, And we have created the world's first AI grant consultant, a vertical AI agent that does all the bureaucracy of grants, end to end. But how does it work? It all starts with grant matching. We created a database of every single publicly available grant in Europe. Then our agent matches each company to the right grants for them and checks for eligibility instantly. And when it finds the perfect grant, it writes a full application. And because it does so according to the official criteria, it greatly increases their chances of approval. But it doesn't stop at submission. Once an application is approved, our agent will manage the entire project, tracking results, sending reminders, and submitting reports and invoices. And companies can apply to as many grants as they want for just 4,000 euros per year, which is 5 times less than what you'd pay to a consultant for just one application. And we are growing fast. We started last year with a single target in mind, reach 100,000 euros in sales by the end of the year. But we didn't do it in a year. We did it in just 3 months. And then we thought summer was going to slow us down, but we actually doubled it and expanded to 4 new markets. And by the end of the year, we doubled it again, reaching over 400,000 euros in sales in less than 9 months. And this was only possible because we're already working with some of the biggest companies in Portugal and also public companies like the Portuguese Navy, but also some very big European multinationals like Roca in Spain. My name is Bernardo and I'm the CEO of Granter. I'm a second-time founder and I was part of the first sales team at Uber in Portugal. My co-founder and CTO, who is also named Bernardo, has been leading tech teams in startups for the last 10 years. We are accompanied by yet another Bernardo and 3 other super talented non-Bernardos. We are Granter, and we are here to empower every European company to apply to those 285 billion euros. Thank you very much.
Absolutely magnificent and a bang on 3 minutes exactly. That's what we love to see. Okay, that was a strong pitch. But what do our judges say? Do we have any questions? Any? Wow, oh, good man, thank you, yes. All right.
Again, congratulations, it's a spectacular growth. I wanted to know why you decided on that particular business model of 4,000 fixed fee instead of a mix or a totally success fee based according to the grant that you, as many consultants do, and as may allow you to gain some of the upside you win for your clients. And that together with was kind of a proxy to the percentage success that you've had, even if it's through a fixed fee, but how many of the grants that your clients have presented through your system have won the grant?
Yeah, so responding to the first question, in regards to outcome-based pricing, I definitely want to do that. I believe the best business model for us, for our clients, and it's the way for us to become the unicorn that we want to become, is to get a percentage of every single grant in the world. That is very clear to me, but for us, a very early stage startup, having to wait 6, 9, 12 months for a revenue that is not recurring, might not even come, it's uncertain. It's quite tricky to do, especially because we were closing a seed round, we just did it this week actually, so we couldn't do it, but right now we're experimenting for the first time with success fees, and we hope to do it. In regards to actually success rates, right now we already have over 3.5 million euros in grants approved through our agent. This will be exponential because first we started to sell to startups and now we mostly sell to big enterprises like you see. So the grant sizes changed from 30K, 50K to 50 million. So right now probably the amount of grants that we will get will reach 100 million by the end of the year.
Amazing. Do we have one more quick question? Yes, we do. Yes, fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Great questions.
I love it, by the way. Thank you.
Very
So quick question here is, are you the paymaster? So do you control the entire relationship and the disbursement of the grants?
Actually, no. That's a very, very good point. We are currently trying to integrate through APIs. In some cases they exist, in some cases they don't. Depends on the market. We want to integrate with the government systems in order for us to actually be in the middle of the money and be able to there's another business model on top of this, which is more fintech related. We can actually advance the grant for our customers, which is a very big pain also. It takes a lot of time for them to actually get the cash flow. So if we are in the middle of the money, we can actually advance them the grant, and then we get paid by the government. This is something we really want to do, but right now we are not. We are a SaaS layer on top of the government platforms.
But that's part of your roadmap?
Sorry?
That's part of your roadmap?
Definitely, yeah.
Oh my goodness, all the details coming out here in these very pointed questions. That was just fantastic. Can we give a big round of applause, please, to Bernardo Seixas? That was granted. Thank you so much. Muy bien. Muy bien. I mean, personally, I think we should give the prize to everybody, but that's why I'm up here and not down there. You know, this is a very difficult decision because every pitcher is like totally pitch maxing. They're just smashing it, every single one. Speaking of which, we've given the judges some luxurious seconds to put their marks into the cloud. And now we're going to move on to our next wonderful pitcher. She joins us all the way from La Belle France. And Initiative is a company that is the spot and derivatives exchange that connects all markets, all players, 24/7. Très bien. We are absolutely delighted to be joined by their CEO. Let's give a huge, warm, loud round of applause to Isaïe Cousinet. Let's give it up. Thank you.
Before we start, quick show of hands. Who here's heard of a little company called Revolut? Okay, how about Robinhood? Okay, now what does Revolut and Robinhood have in common? They were both first movers in simplifying access to finance. Revolut changed the way people bank. Robinhood changed the way people trade. And now Initiative is changing the way businesses trade. Initiative is the smart exchange to trade the commodities of today and tomorrow. We're connecting the 95% of corporates that are forced to go through brokers to the 5% of the world's largest trading desks. We're a team of AI-native software engineers and traders. We've raised 1 million, and that helped us secure 70% of trading floor at launch, leading up to 1.5 million in revenue, and built the full product. Commodities trading is old and is bleeding out 150 billion a year. The worst case, the 1 trillion market of European emission allowances. On the one hand, 11,000 corporates, that's 700 in Spain, are forced to buy emission allowances or pay a fine. On the other hand, a large ecosystem of traders and banks all go through the one single American exchange. Corporates are stuck with brokers, and traders are stuck with high fees and no product innovation. We're counting 170 corporates pre-registered in our waiting list today, and we're focusing on 35 large traders and banks that are all set up with a demo and actively engaged as early members. We're also piloting with one of the largest buyers in Europe, a large shipping industry. They trust us because we've built the only team technical enough to build it and credible enough to sell it. Our go-to-market is led by the global head of sales of BP's carbon trading desk, which made them 90 million in revenue. Our ops and regulation is handled by the guy that did Shares.io's compliance and got them their financial license. I lead product the way I did at a US scale-up backed by the World Bank. Every week we talk to the market and we listen. And what do they want? Corporate want instant execution, so we built a true spot exchange. Traders want to repo their inventory, so we built new weekly futures. They also want to trade when industrial activity is at its peak, and that's why we did new contract maturities. But mostly, everybody wants to stop being killed on fees, and that's why we cut them by half thanks to our tech. Exchanges are sitting at the center of priceless financial flows. That's why they're so defensible and they're so scalable. And that's also why Total Energy Trading's general manager and BNP Paribas' general secretary both invested in us and sit on our board. Now that we've successfully secured a lead for our 3.5 million raise, we're ready to deliver best execution to European corporates and bring our traders back on a European venue. Now, if industrial competitiveness in Europe resonates with you, support us, give us the win, and we'll make good on our mission. But most importantly, take initiative.
Très bien. Wow. maybe even magnifique, I have to say. That was, I mean, the pitches are just out of this world this year, just phenomenal. But I would expect nothing less. These are the best of the best of the best. And this is why we have our front row of expert judges to really see the little gaps in the pitches and ask some amazing questions. Yes, well volunteered, my friend. Thank you so much. Okay, that's you're always awesome as an asker of the best questions.
Sorry, I really hate where there are no questions. Every project is very interesting, so I think it awakes my curiosity. Congratulations. I wanted to know a bit more about your commercial evolution, because I saw in a slide that there was like some corporates on your waiting list, but you already had 30 clients. So what were your revenues last year or this first half of this year? What are your plans for closing the year, maybe?
Exchanges take a long time to build. We're under the MiFID II European regulation. We've been engaging for the regulator with a year, and that lets us engage people as early members. This way we know that we have liquidity when we launch. An exchange is really made or broken with liquidity. And we've got 70% already secured. In terms of revenue, that equates to about 1.5 up to 2.5 million as soon as we open.
And you're planning to open, so you're not having revenues, you have the waitlist, but you're opening when?
We're opening Q2 2027.
Okay.
That's why we're closing the round today.
Okay.
Fantastic. Technically, that was 2 questions, but we do have a few seconds on the clock. Going once, going twice. No further questions, Your Honor. Okay, give it up for Esau Kusene. Thank you so much. That was great. Merci beaucoup. All right, we keep things moving here because the pace is relentless. We have more startups. They are battling it out here in the Nave for the love of the judges in the front row. The judges are now considering which startups to give their love to. It's going to be beamed to the mothership, and then we're going to announce them later. Very, very exciting. So the winner of all of these heats goes on to the main stage tomorrow, and that is absolutely one of the grand finales, one of the most exciting things that you see at South Summit. Right, we're going to move on to our next wonderful startup. Now, they are all the way from beautiful Spain, and the company name is Paga Factu by Zertiban. Now, Paga Factu is on a mission to make every invoice pay itself and to kill the wait. And the weapon is pay by bank, my friends. We are absolutely delighted to welcome to the stage the CMO. Give it up for Miriam Vicente. William.
Paga Factu. 2 words. Simple translation. Pay bill. Pay bill, like Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill. But however, that's not the logic behind Paga Factu. Imagine a fire alarm. It is made to detect smoke, and it goes off immediately. No waiting, no delay. So why is an invoice that is a document made to be paid not able to collect by itself? That's the logic behind Paga Factu. Now, let me show you what a bank transfer look like today in Spain for SMEs and consumers. They have to open the bank and type down the 24 long digit of the bank account IBAN, and manually the concept, the amount, the reference, make the payment, download the receipt, send it, and make a call. It seems for me a lot of reasons to kill bill. But now, with Paga Factu, you just have to scan the QR and click on the payment button, and the invoice itself opens the bank account, and with the biometric or your customer clicks and pay. One finger, it's paid. One finger, it's done. Paga Factu is the fire alarm of invoicing. Paga Factu is European open banking, pay by bank. And now I'm so excited, yes, to tell you that the momentum starts now. 400 billion of invoicing made every year manually bank transfer. The momentum starts now. We will hit 28 million in 3 years with really high adoptions and market share. And yes, the momentum starts now. Next year is going to be a hard year for SMBs and entrepreneurs. They have to comply with digital invoicing. No paper, no Excel, no Word invoicing. And yes, our go-to-market are not those 3 millions, are just 100 ERPs that will have to serve them. And you will be wondering, if I have already a payment button in my ERP, what's new? That's the American way of pay. Stripe, PayPal, credit cards, 1%, 2.5, sorry, the comma is missing, merchant commission. Europe wants liberty, European money through European rails, instant payment, account to account, Bizum, and check the low fees of Pagafactu, and the comma is right, 0.1, 0.25. So it seems like we are going to kill Bill, and you have Pagafactu in your hand, and your customer will pay you with one finger. Oops, sorry, thank you. Thank you.
What? A yo-yo, all the moves, oh my goodness. That was very entertaining. Bonus points there. But what did our judges think? We're talking about business. Do we have any questions? Yes, straight away. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I love instant payment, but you know, it can happen. I do it in between, I press the button and then I realized it's maybe a double payment, it's the wrong amount, or even fraudulicious. What will happen in the back? How can we return it?
With Pagafactu, it's a technology based on PSD2 PIS. Yes, we do PIS, P-I-S, Payment Initiative Service. So we initiate the payment, and we have already the 24 digits, and all the payment details already are in the initiation service. So the customer just has to accept the amount that is already inside the payment. So open the bank app and just have a payment of 2,000, we have 100 euros top maximum. And just have to say yes and accept with a finger. It's already inside.
But maybe when the amount was wrong, you know, maybe they charged me 80 euros and actually I only had to pay 60 euros.
But the payment is not made by the consumer. It's made by, we initiate the payment, and of course can be errors, but it's not, you don't have to type anything, so the error is not in your human error.
Thanks a lot. And nowadays, not in all invoices the QR is included. You depend on companies including the QR to scale, basically. So you have to arrange with them the inclusion of the QR. If not, Pagafactu doesn't work.
I didn't quite cut that, but I think you mean there are already QR payments, right? And this QR payment goes to platforms or gateway like Stripe or PayPal. But this QR goes to account open banking. And we use the PIS technology, the Payment Initiative Service. So it's called account to account. It's like a Bizum. It's not double banks or double players.
All right, I'm afraid that's all we have time for. I'm so sorry, but we run a tight ship. Big round of applause, please, for Miriam Vicente. Muy bien. Thank you so much. All right, you see that the judges' questions, they really get under the skin. And it's like if there's any gaps or anything that isn't clear from the pitch deck, the judges are straight in there asking those very pointed questions to see how this is all going to end up. So it's not just about the questions. Of course, it's about their brilliant minds. It's about their experience, their connections. So you'll notice that a lot of our pitches here, when they're on the stage, when they're answering the questions by the judges, they're actually doing some more pitching. And they're actually doing some more pitching to the judges and to the audience. So it's wonderful to see, okay, the judges have had quite enough time to put their marks into the mothership. So we are going to move on to our next pitcher. My goodness, and he joins us all the way from beautiful Portugal. We are delighted to welcome Paynest, which is the AI-powered integrated platform to automate and control all company spending. We are absolutely delighted to be joined by their CEO. Let's give it up for Nuno Pereira.
Time and money. Let me tell you how we help companies save both. Every team has their AI. Engineers have copilots, marketing have AI-generated campaigns, even sales have now pipelines with automated buying intent. But there is one team that got stuck in the past. That team is the finance team. The finance team still validates invoices, makes payments, and close books manually, like they used to many, many decades ago. Actually, half of their time is spent on work that needs to exist, is very critical, but can now, for the first time, be completely automated. And not doing so is very costly to the company. Companies spend on average 1 week to close their monthly books every single month. They use on average 3 to 5 not integrated tools that they somehow manage to work together with pivot tables. And they let pass many, many costs that could have been avoided, either because they are fraudulent or because they don't comply with their policy. So welcome to Paynest. We automate the management, the payments, and the accounting of all company spending in one platform. Imagine a world where an employee has an expense, we instantly validate it and instantly pay it back to the employee. Same for suppliers. Any of the thousands of invoices the company receives, we automatically validate them, integrate them, and pay that at the last due date possible to save companies cash. And same for automated collections and invoices to clients. All of these integrated with all their existing ERPs. How we do that? With 3 agents working 24/7. One, to automate the task can be automated. One, to detect any non-follow expenses out of company spending. Our agent, just the past year, has already flagged across our clients hundreds of thousands of euros that should not have been spent because they were actually fraudulent invoices. And same with real-time analytics and book visibility. From submission to reconciliation in seconds. All of these validated by AI and not by humans. Companies love us. We save time, money, and we help them close books faster than ever. We already work with 200 of the biggest Iberian companies, from PwC to the biggest e-commerce player in Portugal and now present across Iberia, and many, many more across industries. And of course, we don't do this alone. We do this together with Visa and MasterCard. The market is not new, so why now? Basically, now AI can actually automate those critical tasks before they were impossible, and fraud keeps increasing. We see this with every single of our clients. We are growing 3x year over year. We started our journey 3 years ago. We pivot last year, of course, like many startups do, and this year we're about to break even. And this is delivered by a world-class sports team. I'm an ex-basketball player, aerospace engineer as well. Alex has an exit. He loves to run, runs faster than his dog. And Pedro has a skill set of coding while doing Ironmans. I don't know how. And just while we're pitching, we already processed 600 expenses, saved money.
That's all the time. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Much.
Can we have a big round of applause, please? The time goes so fast, I promise you. It's like, wow. I'm so sorry. You really got through a lot there. I think you almost did the whole thing, but that was fantastic. My goodness, what a grand finale for our pitching sessions right here. You know, all killer, no filler, as we say in music, but a difficult decision for our front row of VIP judges. They're already putting their marks into the mothership, but do we have any questions? Was there anything? Yes, good man. Thank you for volunteering. That's brilliant.
Congratulations, very impressive evolution as well. So I didn't get whether you were racing now or you just closed the round.
We're not looking for clients,
Okay.
not for funding now.
What's your biggest fear? What's the threat with all this new AI, all these finance functions for Claude? And what's your biggest fear as the CEO of your company? Where the competition would come from?
To be honest, the biggest threat is having finance teams trying AI which fails and losing trust in technology. I think AI can be used to automate a lot of things, of course, but also if you don't use the right tool for the right purpose, you might actually not be doing the critical work that finance team needs, and they might just give up on AI and then not even try a solution that actually works. So that's our biggest threat, actually, is using a non-finance solution for a finance purpose, which is critical. Yeah.
Excellent question. Yes, final question from Oreo. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. Tell us a bit more about the pivot that you did. Where were you coming from? Why did you decide to go under this route? Okay, and what was basically what you saw that was a unique value proposition that really sort of would differentiate you from competition, because it's a very crowded market right now.
Yeah, we're not actually focused on CFOs in the beginning. We're focused on HR, helping increase the financial well-being of employees and give them access to cash using the company instantly. And we still do that. But it's a very hard sell in Europe. I think in Europe is a mindset on where employers and employees don't actually, finance is a taboo, and it's very hard to sell financial well-being through the company. And what we realized, we have the infrastructure to do much more and to do a lot of the finance payments that go beyond salary, and that does the pivot, which was just a year ago. Yeah.